Greetings, everyone. Welcome to episode 164, Squares Roundtable Podcast. I'm Mike Boyle, and with me is Jeff.
Yep. Hey, how are you?
And we are recording here in Clubhouse. Thanks for joining us if you are joined with us.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, Happy New Year.
Yeah, indeed. Well, yeah, Happy Jewish New Year. Yeah, it's the fun part where, it's the fun part too, where it's like, okay, now we have the other part of it, which we do later today, which is the Yom, well, I shouldn't say today, later in the week, which is Yom Kippur, the other, the part where I have to fast for a day, and it's
Day of Atonement.
The Day of Atonement. Feels very Charlton Heston-y. The Day of Atonement. Oh, wait, no, that's not who that is. Is that? No.
Well, he was Hebrew in the Ten Commandments.
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, that too.
So, Happy New Year and Happy Yom Kippur and Happy Rosh Hashanah to our Jewish audience members and listeners and friends. So, it's been, we took a week off for Labor Day and, of course, all that. So, it's been good. I had a nice Labor Day weekend, did some grilling. More tree branches came down in my neighborhood. Had to chop up some more branches yesterday. These storms, man, these summer storms are something else in my neighborhood.
Yep.
Mala, so I got to sing the log theme as I'm using the bow saw, cutting up the branches. It's log, it's thick, it's heavy, it's wood.
Okay.
But yeah, had a nice Labor Day weekend.
Well, that's good, I guess.
Singing log.
Yeah.
I worked on Memorial Day and the 4th of July, so I'm taking Labor Day weekend off. So that was really, really very nice. Had our charity cook-off over the weekend. Last weekend, we raised just over $8,000 for the Children's Miracle Network, and goes directly to Laurie's Children's Hospital, Chicago. So it was cool. Had a nice cookout, lots of good food to eat at the store, and big turnout. So I had a good time with that. Had a game night last weekend, and we started one game called, what was it, Abomination, like the heir to Frankenstein or something like that, where it was like this comprehensive game. It's like you're the descendant of, or you're maybe like the successor to Frankenstein and Dr. Frankenstein. Not the name, it's not Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
That's right.
Frankenstein. Friggin' Deutsch. I don't know.
Highly overrated, highly underrated Mel Brooks film. And because everyone says Blazing Saddles or Spaceballs, but Young Frankenstein was a genius comedic film. And so you're playing the descendant of, you've up to 4 players. You can play the descendant of Frankenstein or whatever, and you're in a race to create another Frankenstein's monster. And it was just so, we cracked the box open and we're popping all the squares off the cardboard cards, all the game pieces, and we're reading the instructions and the game rules, and we're just looking at each other like, oh my God, what did we get into? You start a game like that? You ever start a game like that where it's like, oh man, this reads like stereo instructions. So we capped it off and we just played Ascension. So.
Yeah, I saw. That's why I was confused when you said that. I was like, wait, you told me you played Ascension.
Yeah, we did. after we gave up on this Abomination, it was like
Abomination was an abomination.
Yeah, it
was. Is what you're telling me?
Yes, it was extremely. Yes. So yeah, not. I don't know. We'll have to watch some videos on how to play the game first because it just got pretty confusing, and the instructions don't help.
Yeah, that's the problem. The problem is when you have to start, when you have to start like looking at videos on how to play the game, it just seems wrong.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between, when it's cool when something's comprehensive, but it just gets so overly complex. It's the knee-jerk reaction, which is what we did, where it's like, oh, this is dumb. There's too many rules. So we just got to learn the game. I think that was the thing. We thought we'd just pop the box and play, but no, you gotta. There's a lot of rules and shit, so we had to learn the game, and we're like, no, we're not doing that tonight. We're just gonna have fun. That's what game night's about, right? Fun? No.
That's what it's supposed to be about in theory.
What is this fun now? Speakest of. So yeah, that happened. We had a good time with game night, though. This is the one thing, though. Like usually, my two friends are with me. We play game night, and one of them couldn't make it, and the other one could, and then those two people, their roles switched later in the day. It's like, oh, I can make it. My son's birthday's over, or my son's birthday party's over, so I can make it. So I text the other guy, and he's like, no, I can't make it.
Yeah, really.
It's like, okay, it's not you, it's you. So, yeah, well. So I had a good game night. And what was it last 2 weeks. Oh, hey, Ivan.
Hey,
greetings.
Hi, greetings and salutations.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
Oh,
Johnny Frog here, waiting for Ivan to get his asshole in here.
Waka waka.
Waka waka. Like a Pac-Man. Waka 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 waka. No. Waka 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 waka.
Okay there, Fozzie.
Pac-Man is what, 40 years old? Or is it 30?
God, is it really? Yeah.
40 years old,
it was
man.
81, wasn't it? 81?
Yeah, 81.
Yeah. I had the Pac-Man fever. We had a Pac-Man game at the gas station.
Driving me crazy.
2 blocks over from my house. I was able to ride my bike and spend every quarter I could accumulate on that Pac-Man game.
Wow.
So, had a good weekend. Of course, still have my subscription to the Paramount Plus. I'm still loving Lower Decks. So we got some Star Trek news. We had a Star Trek Day apparently last week, so we'll talk about a little bit about
Star Trek Day.
Yeah, it was
Star Trek Day.
The anniversary of the 55 years ago last week was when the first episode aired with William Shatner.
Ah.
So
I see.
So we got some Star Trek news later in the day. But anyway, so yeah, I had a good, nice, relaxing couple of weeks. Just playing Mass Effect. Loving Mass Effect 2, man. It's like
Mass Effect.
Yeah, God. It's awesome. You know, following.
It sounds cool.
Apparently, Mark Meer was at DragonCon. Is that in Atlanta?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a big convention last week in Atlanta, and Mark Meer, who is the voice of male Commander Shepard, was there, and someone made him years ago, someone made him a custom, like, Commander Shepard, like, N7 armor with the armor he plays he's in the game. And he added some stuff to his armor and made himself the Commandalorian Shepard.
The Commandalorian, so it's like, that's horrible.
Yes, it is. Bad pun.
Commandalorian?
Instead of Commander Shepard, he's the Commandalorian.
Commandalorian, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It was fun. I'm sure it was fun. Yeah. So I get to cosplay with the Mass Effect people and the Star Trek people. Or Star Wars people. So, Ivan, how have you been these last 2 weeks?
Just busy spinning records and just kicking ass, taking names. 2/3 of the way towards the new residence. Hope to be in October. Yeehaw. The one that we had before then fell through, so we ended up having another one come into our laps. This one's looking really, really good. Paperwork's already went out, so it's just a matter of days, so fingers crossed. So yeah. And what else is there? Well, just was out at let me see. Was out at Cafe Mustache, was out at Coles, COLES, and then just pretty much just was doing a thing on online now on Facebook Live called The Jam, which of course we did the fourth session this afternoon, prior to the recording of this broadcast. But so it's been fun, just taking the 78s and putting them on reel to reel to preserve them for all time, because I got a bunch of them that are not in the best of shape. So I don't see them going any further than this point here on. And of course, since I'm doing a purging of the collection, I'm starting to do that now. So, and as far as anything else in the very near future, everything's kind of, it's all wide open. Looking forward to the meetup this weekend with you there, Mike. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. What else? So a lot of recording, a lot of hustling, a lot of running.
What are you guys meeting up for?
Oh, just one of our DairyCon groups. We're having a picnic this Saturday.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go.
It's up in Milwaukee suburbs.
Yeah, and gonna be just one of the boys this time out, leaving the record player at home and just kind of cohabitate with my fellow geeky nerdum, wonderful people that they are. You know what I mean?
Are you not bringing your records?
I could if you want me to. I mean, if you want me to, I will.
Yeah.
So I got to. So yeah, all right. Well, then I'll bring the records.
No problem. We'll talk after the show. Yeah.
Yeah, that absolutely. But you got to bring the '80s records, of course. But,
yeah. Because we'll be back on Electric Avenue.
That's right. We will be back on Electric Avenue.
And then we're going to take it higher.
Yeah. Aside from that, I've managed to. Let me see. 12, 24, 36. I've run 4,800 feet of reel-to-reel tape.
Jesus.
So run off that much and recording a bunch of records that have been, on the burner for a while.
That's a lot of reel-to-reel tape.
What are you just you're dubbing them digitally, or what are you doing with all these reels?
What I'm doing is okay, here's the nerdiness of it. Okay, basically I'm taking an analog element, the shellac, transferring them to the analog element, which is tape. Okay, now I have with the tape. Okay, I was able to sound down on certain sound elements like scratches, rumbles, surface noise. But now I've got it on a tape field running a little faster than usual tape. So now I can go ahead and manipulate it with some EQ, just some gentle EQ, maybe a touch of theater echo to kind of give it a nice little overlay in the sound. And then just preserve them and then get them ready for release on SoundCloud, which I just renewed my subscription this year. I got the premium now, so I'm able to do a whole lot of other things. Although, one drawback on the app, you can't record straight to the app anymore. So you have to actually create a file and then put the file into the app, which I guess they're trying to save on hard drive space or whatever it is.
Or bandwidth or whatever.
Maybe. Or bandwidth, so I guess, for one concession, we lost one concession, but it's okay because I got 24 gigs on my recorder on my phone and everything, and it's multi-digital and all that other stuff like that, stereo sound, 4-track, whatever, all that bullshit, and so then so it kind of gives me a little something to work with, and it's around this time of year I've always had I kind of fascinate towards going towards the older records. I tend to get more jazzy, more R&B, more, into that this time of the year, the pop sensibilities start coming in. I also taken a lot of new music around this time of year, which is really cool too. So
you're dubbing, so you're going from vinyl to audio tape to,
right.
Through an EQ.
Right.
To SoundCloud.
Right.
Okay.
Right, exactly. So basically I'm just enhancing the sound, but not taking as much away from the original aesthetic of the sound. I mean,
That's amazing. You want to know why it's amazing? That is exactly what was in the little packet when we played Clue. That's exactly the order it was in, too. That's exactly the order it was in.
See, this is why This is why I have the best time with the sharpest minds in the business. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeff Stein.
By the way, I had to dump out of the spinning wheel today. It's
Why?
Like I don't know. I saw some weird post and I was just like, okay,
it's all about the drama there.
Yeah, well, I get this, okay, and not that I want to start any folly in the publicness, but I will make this as succinct as I possibly can. Yeah, I had a family member actually come into my messenger and was posting all kinds of things about, what other people were saying about them, but yet saying, I'm disappointed that you had gone to this side. I'm like, the hell are you talking about? I ain't gone no place just because I decide I'm going to not spin that spinning wheel and that I've been spinning I'm off of my own page because, everything that needed to be spoken about was spoken about between Jimmy and myself. Okay. And, then I get this other member come in and tell me about this. And I'm just like, well, okay. And then I finally just said today, I said, you know what? If that's what you think, time to go. God bless you. I love you. Hope everything is cool with you. I wish you well and everything, but, I just finally took myself out of there and I said, yeah,
It wasn't about the music.
Well, yeah, that was kind of like, once I knew you weren't spinning there anymore, I'm like, why am I in this group again? Fuck it. I'm out of here.
Yeah, well, and the
I
thing
can't blame
about
you,
it,
Jeff. Can't blame you.
Well, no, I mean, and I finally, you know me, the one with the largest threshold here, and finally says, okay, yeah, I know when I'm not wanted, so time to go.
It's funny. It's not so much threshold. It's like, do you know how many Facebook groups I'm in? Jesus Christ. I was like, okay. It's like one of those things where you're sitting there like, oh God, I gotta manage this garbage. It's like today I looked at how many Clubhouse clubs I'm in. Oh my God. I must be in like 1 million Clubhouse clubs. I'm like, I went to go look at like, it was a Club Hub or whatever the heck it is, which is like this third party website that shows you about like certain statistics for Clubhouse. And like, I'm looking at the list. It's like the club list I have is like 1 mile long. I'm like, oh my God.
It's you get to these people that they, they're your friends, but yet they include you into their wanting to join their clubs.
Well, the other thing is,
and the other thing is, yeah, you just don't realize just how.
The thing is, here's the thing with Clubhouse, it's a little different than Facebook. With Facebook, okay, you join it and it's just another one. With Clubhouse, when they have these clubs, it helps to populate your hallway about what you see, because if certain things are going from those clubs, then you see those clubs. So my feeling has always been like, okay, I'll be in a bunch of these because I want to get interesting stuff in my hallway, because I'm always like sitting there sometimes going, there's fucking nothing to do nothing to check out, but it's like, so it's like, but I just realized it's like, but yeah, I took one look at the spinning wheel thing and I'm like, I'm done. Thanks for playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and the point of the matter is that, I had to concentrate on, getting back to life, with what I had to do.
Ivan?
And of course, Julie's not in the best of health.
Ivan's getting a phone call.
On my doctor as well.
I didn't even know it could do that. That's impressive. Usually,
trying to get up.
Ivan, your phone was ringing.
I'm sorry, somebody just distracted me with a phone call. My apologies.
That's weird.
Yeah, so it's like they're trying to tell me that, yes, I'm doing it on my page now and not on Spinning Wheel. And then they're just like, I haven't been on anybody else's page since I left. And the only other thing is that I'm doing little random one-off jam out sessions because they're fun. Yeah. And they, you let it all hang out. It's just about, it's just about being without having to consent to the whole DJ sensibility. You know, I'm not trying to, do a set. I'm just hanging out.
And you're not trying to one up somebody. You're not trying to be. You're not doing that out of spite.
Crackers and naughty commentary and kind of blue and risque and kind of just out there. Kind of fun stuff happening. Without nobody getting into any type of drama or one-upmanship or prideful stuff and stuff like that, because I've never been about any of that, So it's like, I just finally came to the point, like, you know what? Enough's enough. I haven't even gone anywhere else. I mean, I've been invited to Northern Soul Keep the Faith. I've been invited to several other pages, but right now I just want to do my own thing, and I just want
to avoid the drama.
Take care of what I have to
can
do
you hear me?
With my life personally and
I can
everything
hear
like
you,
that.
Mike.
And besides, with everything else happening around us right now, I think we're in a much different place than we were maybe a month or so ago. So that being said, I left quietly, and I wish them well, and hey. And if they discovered my message, beautiful. If they didn't, well, at least I did the best by saying what I had to say and writing what I had to write.
So I hear you, Ivan. Just stay away from the drama. It's not healthy.
No, and the thing that just frustrates me, guys,
is the drama.
Well, besides the drama, just the fact that you engaged me to work with you on something, and then later on you go back, you set it on fucking fire. Please don't engage me. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? They wanted to.
Well, when I came into the spinning wheel thing, and all of a sudden, I was there as a disc jockey, and then they made me an admin, which that was very flattering and everything, but then it started becoming this thing where I tried to help out, and I tried to put the time in, and I did the best I could, and in every respect. Mm-hmm. But then it was just like, then it was just, other things just kept coming up, and other things just kept coming up, and finally I was just like, you know what? Just, no disrespect or nothing, but I had to go.
Yeah. So that's what you got to do.
Yeah. So, well, anyway.
Well, how was your Labor Day? What'd you do for Labor Day?
Labor Day. Well, Labor Day, I was at Kohl's on Labor Day, and on the Sunday, and then Monday.
Spinning live?
Oh yeah, I was spinning live. I was twitching. I found my connector. It was still at Kohl's the whole time. I guess I forgot to pack it away the last time I.
There's medication for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're twitching, that's not good.
Oh, they got a cream for that.
The love connector.
Holy shit. So anyway, just like I said, spinning tunes, recording tunes, getting things, kind of wrapped up here, going through stuff, and, just, waiting for the appointment to get the, Odie's, surgery done and everything like that, and, that way when we get to the new apartment, he's getting into the mode where he's, realizing he's a man.
Oh, we got to get him fixed. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep. You got to go snip.
Yeah, exactly. Because as lovely as I would like to have millions of other kittens, which that's no big deal, but not at this time and place, and I'm sure it might even mellow Otis a little bit because
most definitely. Yeah, it's worse for males. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, sitting there, just crying, and stuff like that. The poor guy, I just feel bad. Mm-hmm. He's busy, he's putting out the love call to all the kitties, and, he's just not, he's just not himself. So I smother him in catnip in the hopes to ease his pain, and, he seems to do quite well with it. Yeah, exactly. He kind of sidestep his weenie,
Yeah. And, mellow out, bro.
What?
Yeah, there you go. And then of course, Marley, he doesn't deal with the catnip. He goes for the wheat straight. I mean, I was sitting there in the room. Good example last night, I was in the middle of, listening to some recordings because I've gotten into this, I've gotten into this thing lately where I kind of dived into all the cassettes. Oh, some of the stuff that I ended up discovering again. I found the Best of AM Mayhem cassette, which I think that might be a little presentation on its own sometime.
Neat.
And
neat. Was like a show, like compilation we did like in 2000 or something like that, where it was, I had the best of bits.
Yes, exactly. I found it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a fun one. And then I found the one for Show of Absolutely Nothing. I found the David Hawk, the notorious David Hawk recording. Let's see, what else did I found some of our practice reels with Jeff, for News of the Weird, which had us going off into gales of laughter, which was always a great time. And and then just just rediscovering stuff that we had done at the radio station. I mean, stuff that I'm lining up for release on SoundCloud. I'm finally gonna put some of those mixes out there and, make them available to the world and let them dig it and everything like that. And I've been kind of like priming for that whole situation since I'm doing the jam sessions, transferring to 78s and everything, which, I find it's a lot of fun. I used to do that a lot when I was a teenager. That was one of my things, I mean, some people played with Legos, some people, collected, Transformers. Me, I collected 78s and, just wanted to go back in time and find out what was all that back there, and I kind of never lost that. It's one of those things from childhood that still feels good no matter, whatever time you get to do it,
Okay.
It's one of those things.
So you said, I'm sorry, you're talking about your cats? You're talking about Marley?
Yeah, Marley, Marley likes to sit while I'm busy. Marley likes to sit when I smoke and everything. Otis won't stick around. Otis, I mean, if I break out the catnip bag, he's like, he's like all crazy and, I'll open up the bag and I'll hold it in front of him and then he'll take his paw and knock it all down and have big old splat on the ground and he just goes in and just rolls all up in it, all crazy and everything. And then we had, and then of course Marley, I'll sit there and I'll start burning over at the sound station and everything, whatever. I'll be listening to jazz or something. I'd be listening to like Miles Davis or Jack Johnson or just a bunch of different artists. There is a Jack Johnson, by the way, besides the boxer, which that's another subject. But anyway, playing some old vintage stuff and everything. He'll sit there and we just get piped up and, we just, he enjoys
Marley
it.
just sit with you?
Yeah, he'll just sit with me.
That's cool.
He sits with me. He's comfortable and, keeps his time and everything like that, and he just, he's a good cat. He's a good cat. Speaking of cats, here's a strange story, about a cat. A cat called Number 8. Have you guys ever heard this story?
Nope.
Can't say I have.
Well, there was this cat that I believe the story takes place in California at some small school. And I guess the cat never had an owner, but I guess the people of the school kept up the cat, and the cat would always show up in room number 8. And I guess the cat lived a really long time, up to the point where he made all kinds of news stories and everything like that. And now, if I'm not mistaken, there is there's this gravestone, and there's a marker, and the marker reads, it's got his picture on it, the cat's picture on it, and it says room number 8. Okay, people out there on the internet, now I just gave you something to think about.
There was this news story over the weekend of this cat that got into a college football stadium and fell. It was happened on Saturday, and the cat was clinging to one of the stands up in the balconies, and it fell, and someone used an American flag to break its fall.
Wow!
It fell like 40 feet.
Wow, that's cool, man. I'm glad they caught
the cat.
him.
Yeah,
wow.
the cat was not injured, but yeah.
All right, that's awesome.
That's my cat story for the week. Jeff, what's your cat story of the week?
What?
We all have a cat story this week, right? Is that what we're supposed to do? I don't know.
I'll tell you a story
People,
about
please
pussy,
send in your cat story.
I'll tell you a story about pussy if you'd like. But
Well,
no,
that falls into the realm.
That's all right.
Did you see my post with Marley up on Facebook? The one where he's like in the in the file cabinet. It was too perfect. I think I don't know. We suspect that Otis might have done something naughty, so Marley was over there investigating. He was taking his paw, separating the pages. It made it look like he was looking for some kind of porn stuff, so I decided to go ahead and take his picture and just come up with all this different titles.
You added some captions, yeah.
Oh,
Welcome to Weekly Cat Stories.
It's your cat!
Well, at least it's not half as loud as the one, where's the catnip, motherfucker? I love my cat.
You better be careful. He's going to start...
He's going to start
his own Facebook group and start throwing shade at you.
His own shit, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to sit there and put the notoriety on these cats and everything like that. These people haven't already, if these cats haven't already been memed in something else already, God only knows.
You better be careful. They'll go on the spinning wheel and talk about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Okay.
Spinning wheel. Hey, whatever they want to say, spinning wheel, I don't care.
I don't care. I do what I want. Yeah, I get it.
Well, yeah, I mean.
So.
Now, so, Jeff, how was your 2 weeks?
How was your 2 weeks?
Not bad at all. It was an interesting 2 weeks. So, I'll start in a weird place. I got a call.
Don't you always?
I got a call. So I got a call I got a text from John Suntress on Friday night, and he's like, hey, you want to go watch the fights? And I'm like, he's like, well, it's going to be at a Village Inn, but it's going to be free. All you got to do is buy food. And I'm like, all right, sure, why not? And this is the one where, they're doing like the weird celebrity fight thing too, like it's kind of like the hip hop kind of thing, where they had the one where like Evander Holyfield was on the card, like 58-year-old Evander Holyfield.
What?
Yeah, no,
what?
Well, so, in fairness, it wasn't supposed to be Evander, it was supposed to be Oscar De La Hoya. And Oscar De La Hoya got COVID, and they didn't want it canceled.
Oh,
man. And the other thing on the card was, notable on the card was Anderson Silva versus Tito Ortiz. But the amusing part is they're both UFC guys, but they're boxing. Okay. Well, they do all these weird fights, and then they do legitimate fights, and then they have like certain acts that come in to do like hip hop and all kinds of stuff like that. And my understanding is Snoop's involved, and Mario Lopez. Mario Lopez is the host of this thing.
Oh,
so,
Mario Lopez.
Well, I guess he's a fight
Mario
fan.
Lopez.
Well, I guess he's a fight fan supposedly. Hey, look, it's better than some of the other guys they have that call the fight stuff. And then to top it off, so the last time when they had Tyson. Or last time, Snoop was like one of the commentators. This time it was like 50 Cent. But the amusing part to me is this. So we get there to watch, and there's supposed to be 4 fights. All right? There's supposed to be 4 fights, and the first fight was like a legitimate fight. Went like 10 rounds, and it was kind of boring, and all right, fine. All right, and then all of a sudden, it was funny because we were kind of expecting a second fight. And then they go right to the Anderson Silva Ortiz fight. Okay. I'm watching Tito Ortiz, and I'm like looking at this going, I don't even think he can. He looks like he's stoned or something. I don't know what's going on with him. But literally, I'm watching him, and I'm like, this is. And so, he comes out to the ring, and first of all, he comes out to the ring with doing like to Hulk Hogan's Real American, which with an American flag.
Right.
By the way, this is also the card where Donald Trump was doing the alternative commentary. The other night.
It's a really good fight, really great fight. Let me tell you.
So he was on an alternate comedy.
Indeed.
Yeah,
appropriately said.
An alternate commentary channel, but so we're watching this, and no lie, like literally within the first I looked away for 1 second in the first round. Boom. Tito Ortiz is down.
On the floor.
Just like that.
On the ground.
Just like that. Boom. Done. Like one hit. Okay?
Oh my God.
So we're like, all right, they got to stall, right? Because they got to have something in between. Like, and we were like, because we talked about, like, we hadn't seen this part. You'll enjoy this, Ivan. So they had some sort of video. God, I wish I could find it. So it's supposed to be a mashup between Marvin Gaye and Snoop Dogg doing What's Going On. And literally, like, for the first, it's like they try to put Snoop into, the video, and it's like, Snoop's just sitting there dancing along, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, this looks nightmarishly horrible. And I'm like, all right.
Channel 26 shit.
Well, and so here's the thing. I'm like, okay, so is this going to be Snoop's going to spit some good rhymes and save this whole thing because it looks pretty bad at the moment, like you're desecrating a great song? Or is this going to be Snoop just kind of throws shit out and it's not very good and now it just looks all bad? And if you can find the video, be my guest. But sure enough, Snoop does the latter, which is, it's absolutely a horseshit rap. And it's like, the two of us were watching this and literally were like, oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh my God.
So then, and it was funny because the fight's in Florida. And it's funny, this should have been the clue, because I'm like, why is the fight not in Vegas? They're like, oh, it was supposed to be in California, but they couldn't get Evander cleared medically, so they moved it to Florida.
Okay.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube, Jeff.
All right, I gotta see this
the
shit.
Snoop Dogg thing?
Yeah, the Snoop Dogg, Marvin Gaye. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrible. So then it's time for and he's fighting. So Evander's fighting some UFC guy, and he's like 44 years old, and I guess he's trying to get into boxing or something. And
at 44 years old, most people like retiring by the time they reach their 40s.
Well, in fairness, he's a UFC guy, so he's been fighting UFC. So now, I don't know. I guess this was the guy who was supposed to fight De La Hoya. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
So this thing doesn't even go around. They had to stop the fight because Evander was just absolutely getting pummeled.
Oh.
Absolutely getting pummeled. I mean, and it was funny because John.
And they turned him into a fucking punching bag, is what they did.
Well, literally, it's like, I mean, and it's funny because it's like Evander gets in the ring and it was weird because we're watching him and I'm watching the warm ups. I'm like, well, okay, Evander looks like he's kind of got it. He looks like he might be okay. And then I'm watching him in the ring and I'm like, okay, he seems kind of slow, and he seems kind of not
disoriented.
Good. Well, I don't know about disoriented, but just not with it. Just not very fast. And as soon as this guy turned up the speed a little bit, it was it was over.
It stopped the fight. This guy's in danger.
Yeah, well, and it was funny because John's John used to hang out with Burt Sugar and guys like that from the old school days because John really did write for boxing for a while, and he was writing for Ring Magazine at one point. And John's like, you shouldn't have stopped the fight. It was, you gotta let Evander go out on his own terms. And if he goes down, he goes down. And I'm like, I don't think. And I looked at John, and I'm like, I don't agree with you on this one. Because seriously, he was like, Evander's literally like covering up. Like, he doesn't even look like he's like it just looks like he's covering up. And so literally, we showed up, and in the 2 hours of this thing, we saw somebody do some sort of live. We saw 2 live performances of some groups that I never had seen before. This bad Snoop Dogg video, 1 decent fight that was kind of boring, and 2 first-round knockouts. And this thing was done by like 9:30.
Almost seems choreographed.
Well, no, it's just one-sided.
Well, yeah, it was just really funny. I'm like, man, I am so. And it's funny because like this place had bought it, so thankfully we didn't buy it. But God forbid someone had bought that thing. I'd have been like, I'd have been.
Yeah, that would have been a world of hurt. Yeah,
well, just went about a short show and it's not very entertaining.
Yeah, which seems like it got thrown together at like the very last possible moment.
I put the YouTube link in the group chat.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So, and then of course
cool.
to show some extra time, they've got they bring Trump on a couple times to talk about stuff too, and to kill time because like obviously they've got time.
Yeah, what a way to kill time.
The best is at one point we're literally watching this, and like before the fight starts, they have Trump talking for some strange reason, and the bar that we were in like decides, you know what, we're not listening to Trump, and she puts on the music and waits for them to bring back the regular announce crew, which was awesome. So that I did that this past Saturday night, but it was weird because, like I said, I wasn't planning on going to watch, but like I really had kind of crossed my fingers and hoped that like Evander would at least have a decent showing, but it was exactly kind of what I thought it, which was like maybe we should rethink a 58-year-old man who hasn't been in a ring in 10 years suddenly.
You think? You think?
Well, in fairness, I think he made 5.
I mean, there's one. I understand, Jeff. Going down on one's terms is one thing. A guy getting pummeled to his ultimate death is another.
Well, and we're talking about Evander. We're talking about one of the. I don't.
Yeah, well, Evander Field, okay.
I won't call him one of the greatest, but he's in the team picture, if you know what I mean.
Well, he's one of the greats. He's one of the greats. There you go.
For honestly, for my for in recent memory, he is one of the greats. It's really kind of like it's like him and Tyson. Although it's funny, Tyson did one of their cards and absolutely destroyed some guy. So it's funny because
but we always know that Tyson has got that extra level of anger and other issues, kind of perpetuating that whole makeup. You know, I mean, Tyson, you know, is well kept. If you looked at him, you know,
Evander was in good shape. In fairness, Evander was in very, very good shape. I mean, that was not an issue.
Yeah, but you know what? You can be in good shape, but still not be not be on your game. You can still be in good shape and just not be on your game.
Well, the difference being that Tyson's fought in recent years and Evander has not. So
fair enough. Okay, fair play on that. That's the other thing
too. But yeah, and it's funny because I think there was a part of them where they thought maybe they could do with this group that maybe they could do like a Holyfield Tyson 3, but there's no way. There's
not at this point in the game. No, not at all.
No,
I mean, for total puffery and everything else, yeah, I can see the appeal, but you know what? The reality of it, no fucking way. Everybody's up in the air.
After what happened Saturday, there's just no way.
We should dismiss such thoughts.
No. But I mean, boxing's just getting weird right now because it's like there's legit fights and then there's weird shit going on. Like, hey, Conor McGregor's going to fight Floyd Mayweather, or like the Paul brothers are going to fight people, and it's like, what the fuck is going on?
It's like they're throwing stuff against the wall in order for something to stick, you know, and it's kind of like
it's trying to get the most amount of viewers.
Right. It's almost like this ditch attempt at trying to resurrect the situation that's long since been dead, and whipping the dead
Well,
horse.
it's not dead. It's not dead.
Well,
it's
no,
just
maybe
in a
okay.
weird
All right, that
place.
is the wrong word. That is the wrong word. But it has languished. There's a better word.
Well, yeah.
So,
I mean, there's reasons for that, and then that's a longer story. But a lot of
that's
it
a
has
much
to do-
longer story. But yeah,
but a
nonetheless,
lot of it has
interesting.
to do with the fact that boxing as a whole does things where it's just like, but in some ways it's funny because boxing isn't rigged, but in some ways they're more crooked than the WWE.
Well, we all know that. I mean,
right. The only difference is it's like one supposedly isn't fixed and the other one is.
Yeah, but then if it's not fixed, I mean, it's not. If it ain't fixed, then they throw them. I mean, the money talks and the bullshit walks. That's just how it goes. And more times than not.
So that was Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon, I was the Zoom host for a storytelling show that was a mixed show that they were doing it live in the city, and then they had a Zoom platform. And then last night as well, I did my show, which is, and we did it in the Talk Club, which is a different club than this club. The Talk Club has about 180,000 members in it. So,
nice.
And we're going to start doing Sunday night stories every other Sunday night in the Talk Club. So I'm real excited about that because
that's cool.
We had a boost in audience last night that in fairness, it's not like we had any like major headliners or anything like that. So it was a good show and it was solid and I think things went well. But so that was this past week. I'm trying to think about
Labor Day weekend.
If there was anything of note. The only thing I'd say is
I know it was a holiday. Happy holiday.
Yeah. Well, I know. Well, no. Yeah. There's that. Yeah. That. Sorry. There was that. That was Monday night, which is we ended up at like Elwood's, and it was funny because like our surfer didn't even know there was a special Jewish meal that was happening that night, which was hilarious. But and then it's funny because Saturday I went out and I bought a brand new bed, and it was funny because they included in the bed. They threw this in because we bought two beds, one for my mom too. And so they included in this, they had this adjustable base, and included in the adjustable base they threw in was the massage function.
Uh-oh.
Ah. And?
So yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
You have to put a quarter in?
No.
Does it squeak?
No, that's a different function, but yeah.
You're making my mind in the gutter here.
Yeah, so there's that, and then, so yeah, that I think, yeah, honestly, Labor Day weekend, I didn't really do a lot, partially because of the holiday, and then, I can't remember that I really did all that much anyway, but, trying to think just in general, stuff I've watched in the last couple weeks that, of note that I know you guys didn't watch. I know. So I was watching this show called Never Have I Ever on Netflix. And there's 2 seasons of it. It's about 20 episodes. And it's kind of, honestly, it's really aimed as a teeny bopper kind of show kind of thing. It's about this, teenage girl who is of Indian background and descent, and it is a comedy, and it's quite funny. And the real reason I've continued to watch it is the narrator of the show.
Who's it narrated by?
So the narrator is John McEnroe.
What? Okay.
As John McEnroe. And basically narrating this teenage
hockey player, John McEnroe.
Tennis player.
Tennis player. The tennis player,
okay.
John McEnroe. Mr. I throw my racket everywhere.
Yeah, the Mr. Temper Tantrum.
Oh, okay. Now it's coming back.
Was married to Tatum O'Neal at one point.
That's right.
So he's the narrator for this thing.
Okay.
Part of his anger management.
And he gets to be John McEnroe being John McEnroe, which is great. So it's like this teen drama, except there's a narrator, and it's John McEnroe, and you can take a wild guess that they just absolutely go to town on that with the narrator.
Oh, sure.
Where he'll like say stuff, and you're just dying of laughter. It's like whoever created this was just like a genius. And they justified it with, I guess, so the father in the first episode near the beginning is dead, and I guess the father really loved John McEnroe, so that's the reason why John McEnroe is the narrator, but the thing is, so it's McEnroe being McEnroe, like legitimately being McEnroe, like he's like he'll say something like he's like, I haven't seen anybody get beaten this bad since that time that I beat Yvonne Lendl in straight sets at the U.S. Open in '84. Like they'll throw lines like that in there, and it's like, or like it's like she'll be like, oh yeah, I'm totally cool. Davey isn't cool at all. Davey's nowhere near cool. I know what cool is. I was cool when I was a child, that kind of thing. And it's just so. I mean, it's your basic teen kind of show with this being the big difference in it. So it makes it really. I found it really enjoyable.
Interesting, yeah. That sounds interesting. I mean, I like the alternate comic universe that they're using with them.
Well, and so the irony is, and the other thing is they're half hours, so they're not bad.
That's cool.
Makes them digestible, yeah.
Right, it makes them really digestible. So, 20 episodes didn't take very long, if you know what I mean, because it's like, we watched them you can watch them in bunches, too. It doesn't feel nearly as annoying, where it's like, oh, God, how many of these are there? Well, no, I can watch them in bunches. It's no big deal. Like, you can watch like a couple hours and be like, oh.
Well, basically they're great Saturday or Sunday, binge type of thing, when you want to split them up or something.
Honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, you could probably sit down, although it may be a little too young for Soraya at this point, but I think the two of you could sit down and probably enjoy it, and she'd be like, who's this John McEnroe guy?
She's 22, so I'm sure, it'll be all the way good. I'm sure she'll get it,
Well, it's funny because in season 2 they introduced Common as somebody who's playing one of the characters on the show, so it'll be interesting. But it's funny, funny, because there are a couple episodes where they followed other people other than this girl Davy, and one of the people. So they had the one guy that they were following one of the guys they were having being followed, and they had to have a different narrator. So the narrator was Andy Samberg, because it's like his dad's my agent, and he seems like a good kid, so I figured I'd do it. And I can't remember who there was a girl they were following around doing one, and I can't remember. She was a model of some sort, and it was really fun. She did a pretty good job too. But it was
Kathy Ireland.
No, somebody I didn't recognize the name. Somebody more current.
Okay.
That I didn't recognize the name on. That. So yeah, but like I said, it was worth watching. Definitely a fun watch.
Okay.
Something I would definitely say, if you're looking for something funny, that falls in. Watched that Clickbait show on Netflix, and I gotta tell you.
Yeah, I had family who watched that. What were your thoughts on it?
I wanted to throw the remote at the TV at the end. It's one of those where it's like. Well,
it's a whodunit, right?
Well, for 7.
It's a modern day whodunit.
Well, so it's 8 episodes.
Okay.
It's 8 episodes. And the
more
first
like
7, the first 7, I'm like, okay, so you're doing all this stuff in the first 7, and then number 8, it's like, okay, we're gonna find out what the hell happened. We're gonna find out the whodunit of it, and it's like, really? like, it's one of those where it's like, you set up like a whole bunch of stuff, like as possibilities and scenarios and things that it could be and all this stuff. And in the end, it's like, hey, by the way, there's this one really obscure character that like was like practically non-existent in like the entire show, and apparently that's the person who it was. And like there's an entire story. And, like,
so they did all this exposition, all this setup of all these possible suspects.
And none of them were
like,
it.
Right. Right, exactly. And like literally, like the best way I can put it is, you could have probably done this in about 3 to 4 episodes and cut out, because there was a couple of twists. Because if you haven't seen it, basically what it is it's the guy who played Vincent Chase on Entourage. He gets kidnapped, and they basically have this thing where he gets on the internet and it says, you know, if you get to 5 million clicks, he dies. And like about like, I'm an adult, you know, I abuse women, I'm an adulterer, I killed women, that kind of thing. And and then, you know, this is on the internet, and then we find out about, you know, the family has issues, and then we find out about there's affairs, and we find about, you know, all this kind of stuff where literally it's just like, and in the end, none of it matters. None of it fucking matters. Not one bit of it matters. Actually, I take it back. There's a couple things that matter, but very little. But a lot of the stuff that you talked about, like, just was like...
it was a whodunit where you did not expect the person to be the culprit, right?
It's more like a why did they do it?
Ivan, you did not expect this person to be the killer.
Right. And then it's, okay, so here's why this happened, and you're like, okay... And it's like, all right, why did you tell me all these other things for 7 episodes?
Hi, we want to just have you, the hook just brings you back. We were kind of hoping we were going to make it last for 7 episodes.
I mean, seriously, you gave us 7 full episodes of red herrings.
Did you binge it all?
That?
Yeah,
we watched it fast.
Like in 2 days or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
It's one of those where I was just like, it was funny too, because we got near the end and we're like, oh, we gotta watch it.
At least you didn't watch it like one a week.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
I think of worse things, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would have been so pissed.
That would have been horrible.
I would have been so pissed.
Yeah. That would have been horrible.
Funny. It's funny, I read an article an interview with the executive producer of it, and they're like, either you're really gonna love it or you're gonna want to throw the remote at your TV. It's like, yes, the second one, that one.
Yeah.
I want to let me put my hands around your neck and seriously, it's like, dude. And it's funny because I feel like the irony is I'm talking about stuff and I really don't feel like I've given anything away either, because I haven't said who it is or exactly how it goes. But, you know, it's just one of those where it's like, and the funny part is, it's well done, it's well crafted, the acting's good, it's very, very interesting. It's just that when you get to the end, you're like, oh, okay. And then it kind of ends. You're like, that's it? That's how it ends. That's ball game.
That's the whole ball of wax. Thank you.
That's the whole ball of wax. This is what it is. Huh?
Wow.
Yeah. No, it was.
That's a mind fuck. Sorry, that's just a total mind fuck.
Well, and that's kind of how I felt about it. Where literally I was just like,
all that shit. You know, you just
like I said,
no payoff.
Well, no, in fairness, there's a payoff. I just think the payoff. The best way to put it is, imagine you got a payoff, and after everything you've set up, the payoff was like, oh. That's the best way to put it. And you're like,
Yeah.
all right, why? So why did this happen?
Because
like,
we
as in,
could.
like, nothing. Like,
Because we
it's
could.
nothing- well, it wasn't because we could. It was just like, and the rationale was nothing spectacular. Okay. Like, it wasn't like, you know, like, oh, here's, you know, that, it's like, the explanation was such where it was just kind of like, I mean, it don't get me wrong, I mean, there's certainly some depth to it, but it's one of those where I'm just like sitting there going, you did all this stuff for 7 episodes and this is what you're out.
This is your payoff. You're like,
this is the payoff? I'm like, it's not.
No.
You know what it reminds me of? There was a...
What's that?
God, what was the name of that? There was an HBO miniseries with Hugh Grant last year.
Suffering from Half Nut Theory?
Where, in the end, it was like they had... with Nicole Kidman. It was Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant, and I can't remember who else. And there was something, and I can't remember the name of it from HBO.
It was called The Undoing?
The Undoing, thank you. The Undoing. And that had the same, it was kind of like that, where at the end of The Undoing, you're like, okay. Yeah.
The Undoing, was that the making of the Duran Duran album?
No. No, but it was like one of those where it was like they built up all the tension, and in the end it was just kind of like, oh
Meh.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just piff.
Like they give you all these options, and then it's like, no, he did it. Oh.
No.
Well, you could have done that a while ago, and
wow.
I mean, this wasn't that. I'll say this: it was just kind of one of those where it was like, the best way to put it was like, it's like kind of like a gymnast who fucked the landing. This is the best way I can put it.
Okay. That's a little hardcore, but yeah, I guess I can see the accuracy of that.
Like,
yeah,
they didn't stick the landing.
They didn't stick the landing.
Jeff, do you usually enjoy these type of like mystery whodunit shows?
I don't mind them. It's just one of those where it's like, usually it's like, all right, fine. If you're going to go that route. But, I mean, in fairness, it really does come from left field. It's just, then they give you the rationale for where it comes from left field.
Does a good example of one come to mind? Like someone who did it right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Off the top of my head, no. But
the whodunit kind of thing is not for me. Like, I need to sit and think. Oh, this is dumb. I'd rather watch things explode.
I mean, I like, I like things of a like forensic nature, finding out things about certain cases. I like, I
don't know. I mean, like Law and Order SVU has some nice twists sometimes like that.
Well, yeah, exactly.
There's a reason why that show's been around for over 20 years.
Usually they find they catch somebody in the first 20 minutes or something, the first half hour, and then the second half is like the trial.
No, sometimes there's twists.
Okay.
Well, sometimes they'll come in with different, sometimes different characters. Sometimes they'll have guest characters come on the show.
Well, obviously,
no, not only that, but
every
like
week.
sometimes it'll be like, okay, we got our guy, and then later they're like, wait a minute,
maybe we didn't get
the
right guy.
Or they got someone, and then they realized that wasn't the person, and they had to get somebody else. Like, they've done that.
They had to go, take care of some evidence, that they needed to get a hold of because.
Or in the end, they got somebody, and they thought and this person gets off scot-free, and they find out in the end that was the person who was the person who did it, or something like that. Or they do
exactly.
some of that they'll do some of that on SVU.
Well, like the Sherlock Holmes mysteries type shows, I'm like, no, that's not usually not my bag.
No, I mean for single shot reasons, like Sherlock Holmes, like in a movie. Okay, I wouldn't mind a Sherlock Holmes. And of course, yes.
Sherlock's home. Yeah, Sherlock's home.
Sherlock Holmes, and then, okay. And then, yes, I was a young boy. Please forgive me for what I'm about to say here. Yeah, I was enamored with Charlie Chan, which, okay.
But there's nothing wrong with saying it. It's just the fact that unfortunately, a lot of that stuff now is.
It's unacceptable.
Right. I mean.
My first high school play that I was in, I was the I was in Whodunit, and I was the killer.
Mm.
I was the victim's lawyer.
It's funny now that I think about it. Like when I was in high school, like we did Tea House of the August Moon, and I was in the play, and I played like an Asian character, and it's like, would they allow?
Oh my god! Yeah, not today. No, that would not have flown today.
No, well, I mean, here it is. I'm Puerto Rican, and I am talking about Hanukkah in my speech. You know,
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're from a historical perspective.
it was a beautiful testament. In fact, just a very tiny story because it's precious, and I think it's something you guys, especially Jeff, will understand. Okay, because that year was third grade, and they decided, to do this thing where, it was like Christmas and holidays around the world, right? Okay, so I was in two of the productions, one in French, which we had Miss Francois, and then the one we did on Hanukkah.
Sakura Blue.
And so here it is.
Is French bread considered regular bread in France?
I don't know. I don't think so. But all I'm saying is, yeah, as far as all that was concerned, yeah, so that was the first time that I went in front of, you know why I have the affinity for the microphone that I own, the old Elvis Presley microphone, was because the first microphone I ever filled a stage with was a model just like it. And to talk about the beautiful Hanukkah sayings and, what it was all about. And, my mom helped me to understand as best as she could get it as to what she understood of it, which I find out years later she was pretty adept, but yeah. So, yeah, but, so it's kind of like, would I be able, today, would that be something that would be considered misappropriation?
No, I think it'd been all right with just talking about it. I mean,
no.
It's not like now if you were out there like, wearing the shawl with the Star of David's all over it and a Hanukkah and then like
with a big huge
and a
beard
yarmulke
and all that stuff. Yeah, man.
And like a fake rabbi beard, that would have been bad.
No, see, no, I didn't do any of that. I just kind of went in front of the mic and I just spoke from my heart and it filled the room and it changed me forever. Hey,
Okay.
I mean,
it's cool.
So hail to the Jewish holiday,
That's the other one now. This one is the another one.
No, that's not that one. That's gonna be that's later on. But yeah.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to take you on that tangent there.
No, it's okay.
So what were we talking about? Yeah, we're talking about murder mysteries. Yeah.
Okay, so
the only other thing I can think of that I picked up that we wouldn't normally talk about, we wouldn't. Mike and I might not talk about it because we both watched it. So I finished Doom Patrol.
You finished season 2?
I finished season 2.
What'd you think?
Patrol. That show holds up.
Yeah.
Both seasons are great. That show's a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to the fact that season 3 starts in a couple of weeks. And, it's funny. It's like that show. I watched that show and it's sometimes some of the things they do are like 5 kinds of wrong. And when I say that, I mean not in a bad way, like just like, I can't believe they just went there. And the reason they can do it is it's like, well, we're the Doom Patrol and weird shit happens to us. Like, they are haunted by spirits who are fucking in the manor and shit like that. And,
Were there any other appearances of like more popular or at least more well-known DC characters? In these 2 seasons?
Not really, but season 3 looks like it's going to finally get there.
Okay.
In that we are supposedly going to see Madame Rogue, we're going to see Monster Mala, and the Brain. All of those are the Brotherhood of Evil, and that's kind of like a bigger... that's kind of like a big group for 2 reasons. One, it's interesting because they're more associated with the Doom Patrol, but they did fight the Teen Titans in the 80s quite a bit too. They became a villain for the Teen Titans as well, but I don't think we'll see them in the Teen Titans if we're seeing them in Titans, if we're seeing them in Doom Patrol. It's too bad the two universes aren't linked because it could be fun, but that's not going to happen. No, if anything, they really stick to kind of their own little, other than the fact that they have Cyborg, they kind of stick to their own universe, so
their
to
own little
speak.
pocket. Yeah.
Their own little pocket, and they have their own stuff and their own characters, and they're using a lot of stuff from, stuff that has been from the comics and some of the crazy stuff. And there's certain characters where it's like, I'd like to see more of certain characters, if anything. And what's great is, Matt Bomer, who has been a white collar, is great as Negative Man. And then, Timothy Dalton's playing the Chief, and he does a good job. To me, I can't remember who's playing Rita Farr, but she's phenomenal. She probably is the best of her, and whoever's playing Calamity Jane are the one. Is it Calamity Jane? I can't remember if it's, but Jane are probably two of the better ones. But Brendan Fraser playing Cliff Steele, the Robot Man, is fantastic. Just fantastic. I mean, every other word out of his mouth is fuck. And it's funny because before season 2 started, he does a recap of season 1, and the best thing I can say is it's the best thing I've heard since Lewis from Ant-Man.
Nice.
It's that good. It's definitely not for kids.
Yeah, I hear it. Obviously,
it definitely is
the
not
ghost fucking and the F-bombs all the time, so yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
there's other stuff that goes on, and
so would you say like a PG-13 or higher than that?
It's R.
R?
I would put it we don't get full-on nudity, but I wouldn't put it at PG-13. I don't know if I'd put it at R.
I'd put it in R. Then,
I don't know if I'd put it at R. I feel like it's in between there.
Well, with the number of F-bombs, and obviously it sounds like it should be an R. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, R.
Like there's one thing where in the season 1 finale, there's a character named Flex Mentallo, and he does things where he can flex his body, and it goes on certain wavelengths and vibrations, and he's supposed to get them into this painting that he needs to get them into, and he hits the wrong flexing, and he causes everyone to have an orgasm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like I said,
this is like Barbarella shit now. Here we go.
Like I said, it's one of those shows where literally
Barbarella.
The thing about the Doom Patrol is, if you've never read it, it's weird. It's extremely weird, and the interesting part to me is that they play off of it being weird and go, yeah, you want to see weird? Watch this. And they just continue to play along with the fact that it's just crazy weird. And
right.
and they play right into it. And on top of it, though, they have...
So it's very engaging, engages you.
And on top of it, here's the thing, and Mike knows that, sometimes with character development, I roll my eyes because it's like you're taking away from the story.
Yeah.
Right.
This particular, what's interesting about this is because of the way that it's done, and the characters are so important to the story. Really, in reality, when they do character development, it's almost as if it bakes into the storyline, so to speak, and it works within the storyline. And
right.
So, and so as a result, it's not tedious to be like, okay, I want to see, we're doing some backstory on Matt Bomer on Radioactive Man, or we're doing some backstory on Cliff Steele the Robot Man this time, or that kind of thing.
So they were just real fluid in their presentation of
right.
the storyline.
And it's funny because in season two, they really take advantage of things. So the best way to explain Jane, the other female character, is she supposedly has 64 personalities living inside of her, all with different superpowers.
Okay.
And so you never know when one's
steroids.
And there's some that haven't popped out of her, haven't popped out and visited us yet. But what's interesting is in season 2, we start going into her mind, into what they call the underground, and it's absolutely interesting and fascinating. And honestly, you could go like multiple episodes in there all by itself, and I'd be interested in watching, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a really well done show, and you know, honestly, more people need to watch it. It's a good it's a good show, and they got great people, and they do a fantastic job with it. And I laugh because the part that makes me most frustrated is as good as that show is, it makes me sit there and go, how come they can't make Titans this good?
Yeah, that's too bad.
I seriously, I don't understand how they can make one show this good and the other one is just like, you know, I wouldn't say horrible, but there's definitely a difference. And my understanding is, like, Doom Patrol got nominated for Emmys this time.
Yeah, I think obviously the Disney Plus shows got a lot of the technical awards.
Yeah.
Obviously, but the show is up because of its genre, because of the effects and the makeup and all that.
Right. But yeah, so like I said, to me.
So you're saying Titans is good, but it could be better.
Titans is all right.
Yeah.
Have you watched it all yet?
No, not since.
Are you saying there's room for improvement?
Yeah. No, I've not watched since the 3. I've been slacking off.
So we're up to
episodes, 6 or 7?
7.
7? Okay.
We've had 7 now, and we have 6 episodes left in the season, and there's just too many times where I'm looking at it and I'm just like, this could be better. Or there are things, like, I can say certain things, I don't feel like it's giving me anything away. We're 7 episodes in, we still haven't seen Wonder Girl or Raven.
Yeah, well, Raven went to go bring Wonder Girl back from the dead.
Right,
so.
But the point being is, we still haven't seen either character. And we're over half the season in.
Well, in fairness, season 1 was heavy on Raven.
I understand, but the point being is, they're just not even, we haven't even seen anything. And, like, they introduced Tim Drake in the first episode. He shows up in, like, one other episode, and he's practically non-existent. I don't even know what they're doing.
Gesundheit.
You know,
Gesundheit.
You know, so there's that, and I don't know. I just feel like they could do more with what they're doing. And at times it feels like they have absolutely nothing. They're starting to have stuff for Gar to do, but with Superboy, I swear it's like, whenever they find themselves in a jam where they have to figure out a way to write something so that the Titans can do what they need to do. Oh, well, we have Superboy. If you understand,
he's becoming the one out, the one to the rescue.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, in fairness, he couldn't rescue Hawk.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, right. Well, and they, you know. But for the most part, he's been kind of the out on certain things.
Right. Really.
And, you know, like I said, it's, you know, again, I'm trying not to give certain things away. I had hoped that we, you know, I knew that certain people were involved as villains, and I was kind of sitting here going, boy, I hope we're going to get a little bit more than that. And so far we haven't.
Is the Red Hood arc done?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. And that's the other weird part it's like, it just seemed like literally there was a thing where they kind of the Titans finally look good for a moment, and it's like where it seems like they're up, so to speak, if you know what I mean, where they've done what they needed to do, but at the same time, it's like it was just like so sudden, and then it was like, okay, I don't know.
We've reached the halfway point, so hopefully the second half will be better, just like how first season of.
We're a little past the halfway point at this point, because you only got 6 episodes left.
Okay, so we're half past. Okay, then you're in the second half. So hopefully the second half,
right?
That'll wrap it up better.
We'll see. Like I said, it's not bad. It's just not great. Is the problem?
Okay, well,
and that's the problem.
And you're still coming back, so that's.
Well, I'm coming back because it's characters I grew up with.
Because it's Dick Grayson, yeah.
Right, Dick Grayson, and there are certain other characters that I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
And I continue to sit there and hope that this thing's gonna
not suck.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah. Ivan, you been watching anything or
me?
Just watching your Me TV?
Me TV.
Your Me Too?
No, nothing on nothing especially looming large on Boomer Television. Just the usual stuff I pick up on Smart TV Channel 2. Where not Smart Start TV Channel 2. The Good Wife, Major Crimes. I've been watching a lot of that. Let me see, Ghost Whisper. Let's see. And of course, then I'll go over to MeTV Plus, on Sunday at 8 p.m. They got 2 hours of late night cartoons, Looney Tunes, and all of like the Popeyes. They do some Betty Boops. They don't have the goofball, guy in the tuna fish, inserts in there. It's all pure cartoons for 2 hours. Totally love it. Then late at night, they also have, TV classics where I get my fill of Laurel and Hardy, and the Three Stooges, and things of this nature. So yeah, it's nice, for Boomer Television. Yeah, that's MeTV Plus. That's what's happening with the cartoons and the classics, and then the Start TV for the cop shows.
Right.
It's pretty much been viewing on Boomer Television. Any movies? No, not really. Not much this week. But, because I've been doing a lot of music stuff too, so.
Right, doing your tape transfers, right.
Yeah, doing the jam outs.
Gotcha.
Which, it's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
So aside from that, let me see. I don't see myself doing any more jam outs this week, but then that you never know with me. But aside from that, I don't think I have anything other than when I meet up with you on Friday.
Right. Also, I guess we can get into episodes 4 and 5 of What If.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Go, guys.
So, we are.
I hand it to you.
Right. Episode 4 was with the one with Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was pretty dark.
So dark.
So dark. Hashtag so dark. Yeah, we have some more DC news. It's also so dark. So this one dealt with Doctor Strange, and if it sort of like reminded me that old movie, The Time Machine, where he's trying to keep his wife from dying, or his girlfriend from dying, and she keeps dying in every single possible reality. So then all of a sudden he obviously a different story where he knocks himself in the head and he wakes up in the year 10,000 or something like that, or 450,000 or whatever it was. But this one was, Doctor Strange it was a fixed point in time that he couldn't fix, and he became the very thing he swore to destroy. That's like in the little Star Wars line there. It was still entertaining. It was cool to see, Benedict as reprieve his role, and Wong reprieve his role as well. But that one was pretty nasty, pretty dark turn.
Yeah. No, and that's kind of where.
Seems like where this show is sitting right now, currently.
Yeah, it's funny because when I point that stuff out like that, it's funny because it's like right away, certain people who I know who read the comics are like, well, you know what? This isn't any different than what it looks like in the comics. I'm like, I understand that, but I'm also used to the fact that, you know, we're talking about MCU, and MCU usually doesn't look like this.
No,
you know,
it's typically not how MCU operates.
Right. So, and it's funny because certain people are like, well, good. And I'm like, I understand that. I'm just saying it's an interesting departure.
Yeah.
From what we've seen, you know, in the movies and other things. So.
Yeah, but they've said it. They've had this same kind of tone, where just like in like a 2011, 2012 Avengers, where you know there's the ha, and then there's high stakes, and there's still nasty villains, and people are still dying, but there's still the ha about it that's prevalent in pretty much every Marvel film. But this one took a really interesting turn, and it was not a happy ending.
No.
You know, unlike some of these other episodes where we've had some kind of resolution.
I mean, lately that seems to be the trend in What If, which is happy ending? What's happy ending?
Nope, there's happy ending. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was good. I'm still digging this. Of course, now and then we just had the last one, episode 5, with zombies, which we knew was coming because I think one of the first trailers we got was you see the Marvel. You see the zombie Captain America.
Right. So
we knew this was coming.
Right. So this is basically an MCU's spin on Marvel Zombies from Robert Kirkman.
What year was that book?
God, I can't remember off the top of my head. But you know, Robert Kirkman wrote as a whole series about this, like with the zombies and all that stuff, and it was really, really popular over at Marvel. And so I'm not surprised that they did one. I mean, to me, the coolest thing about this episode was, hey, we finally got Spider-Man.
Yeah, this is the first What If we've seen Peter Parker.
Right, and so I was really cool with that. I'm thrilled that, you know, we got Peter Parker in all this
using Doctor Strange's cape.
Yeah, well,
that's cool.
Too.
Yeah,
and it was funny because as much as some of the other ones have been darker, this didn't feel nearly as dark as some of the other things.
For a zombie apocalypse, it was pretty pretty upbeat, considering you've got cast members, turning into zombies.
Right. Well, and that's what I mean. It was kind of weird because it's like the previous 2 episodes in some ways were darker than the zombie episode.
The zombie apocalypse.
Right. It's like, really?
Especially like with the whole thing with the twist with Wanda and Vision. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Until it goes completely black.
Yeah. But it was, I'm digging this so far, and then this week's episode
I thought the twist at the end of the episode was like kind of funny because it's like, we're gonna make it, and then they show like Wakanda, and it's like, oh shit.
Dun, dun, dun.
So.
And apparently this was the final performance of Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa.
Yeah.
Was it? No, it was the other one, wasn't it?
No, the Chadwick Boseman was T'Challa in episode 5.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a couple others like that where he's on a.
Maybe there might be another. He might have recorded another role, but we thought he was done with episode 2 when he was Star-Lord, but apparently
I thought that was the last, but maybe
This might have been the last. So. But yeah, they get most of the cast. They got Evangeline Lilly back as Wasp, and they got Paul Rudd as the disembodied head of Scott Lang, and head in a jar, like the whole typical sci-fi trope.
Yeah, like Futurama.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
All we were missing was Bender.
Right. But yeah, that was interesting.
What do we know what the next one is?
Yeah, this week's will be Killmonger.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we might actually get more Chadwick Boseman.
Maybe.
So that'll be interesting. I thought again, it's what if's been well done, and it's nice to have some really well created animation, from Marvel that's really kind of top notch.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking at it just like they would look at it like a normal show, rather than hey, we're doing animation, okay, think about it differently,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm liking it so far, so I'll keep with it. Other Marvel news, we've got our trailer dropped today for Hawkeye.
Yep. Yeah, and I guess they're going to be going off of in theory, they're going off the holiday theme.
It's the holiday season.
Did you see the tagline about we're going to put a bow on the holidays?
Oh, I saw you.
I didn't do it. They did.
I know.
They did. That's not me.
Because Hawkeye's an arrow guy. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. Very funny.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't do it. It's not me. It was on their thing. So someone else pointed it out to me, and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's sad."
Wow.
It's interesting. I will say the one thing I kind of, in watching it, what I didn't see, unless it's going to show up.
What's that?
Somewhere else is, we watched Black Widow, and at the end, what's her name gets Clint Barton's picture.
Yeah, she was like, "There's a bounty on him now." I was like, "Whoa, what?" Yeah, this is going to play into that.
So to me, it's interesting to me because it's like certainly didn't look like anything related to that was involved with this, but I could be very, very wrong. At least from what I saw. If anything, it looks like there's a lot involved with his time when he was basically during the blink out.
Right, when he was Ronin. Right.
When he was Ronin and something comes.
He's got some shit he's got to atone for.
Yeah. So.
But Jeremy Renner's starting to look a little old, man.
Well, I get the impression this might be the end of Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, this could be the passing of the torch, for him to his daughter, yeah.
Well, right, because it's not like they're bringing Haley Steinfeld back for any more Bumblebee movies that I'm aware of.
Nope. She won't be in the new one that they're filming now. So,
which is a mistake, but okay.
Mm.
I mean, what, they're going to bring Marky Mark? Are they going to bring Marky Mark?
No. I'm an inventor. Optimus Prime. He's a not Transformer.
I got a car.
It's a car mixed robot, okay? God, drinking a Bud Light. No, we're not having no Marky Mark, no Haley Seinfeld, sadly. And it's going to be about something else.
Josh Duhamel?
No, I don't think. No, maybe he was a likable character.
Tyrese?
No, I don't know. No, Tyrese sold his house with his Bumblebee statue, so I think Tyrese is done.
How about what's his name? One Man.
Agent Simmons. No.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
John Turturro as Agent Simmons.
Yeah.
Agent
Simmons. One man. You're not one man. I was
yeah, the Hawkeye trailer looks okay, interesting. Obviously, I'll watch it.
The Matrix trailer looked interesting too.
You know what? I can give two shits about the Matrix.
Ooh.
I watched the first one. I'm like, okay, I get it. The machines have taken over, and we're all, human batteries feeding the evil machine. I get it. So I get it. I mean, I know there's people who are really into it and all that. It's that hype that I just didn't follow in the 90s with the Matrix and the 2000s. Just not my thing.
It's interesting because the two movies. The two movies for the ending for that series how do I put this? The
For
ending
real?
was very kind of strange ending, and don't get me wrong, there was at least an ending there, but it was such where it was kind of like very ambiguous and very kind of, okay, what does this all mean a little bit? So there's a part of me where I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with them going back to this, because truth be told, there's a part of me where I'm like, 2 and 3 didn't really exactly live up to what 1 was.
That's from what I heard. I mean, I watched the first one, I'm like, okay, and then I heard the second one was not as good, and the third one was like, eh. So I'm like, okay. Yeah.
The second one was all right. I mean, it's not great, but you know, there's some interesting stuff that they do in the second one, and you know, it's a decent popcorn movie. The third one starts to get a little bit weird.
It's diving into Prodigy territory.
Well, I don't know about that, but it just, you know, in
Musically,
the end, some of the stuff that they're doing, with some of the stuff that they do in the end and how it goes, it's like, okay, that was, I don't know. But yeah, but I guess that's going to be an HBO Max release too, so that's kind of cool.
What other trailer? We got the new trailer for The Saints of New York, and that looks amazing. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's also going to be
HBO Max. Yep,
an HBO Max pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Shang-Chi again doing well in the box office. Again, I'm not.
And I hear it's good.
I don't know.
I had my nephew went and saw it twice, so must have been that
really
good.
Weird?
To see it in the theater.
You know what's really
that?
weird? I'm not seeing, like, because I get, like, we get all, like, the comic book stuff, like the IGNs and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, Screen Rant and all that shit.
And all that stuff. I'm not seeing, like, usually by now there's, like, a shitload of spoilers that I have, like, you're trying to avoid for stuff like this. I'm not seeing it this time.
I just saw that the Mandarin comes back. That's the only spoiler I've got.
Right. Well, the only other thing I know is that there's 2 post-credit scenes.
Okay.
That's the only other thing I know.
Right.
And there are people who are raving about this movie, and I'm like, that's nice. I'm not going.
Good.
I'm not going until it comes on Disney Plus in 45 days. And we're closer to that than we think.
I figure I might catch a Wednesday matinee or a Sunday matinee. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, yeah.
Because I can see it in my little theater in my hometown, which is, basically empty.
Yeah, I've thought about that too. The thing to me, I'm like, do I really want to sit and wear a mask the whole time and watch this thing? And I don't know. I'll see.
Well, I mean, you go around the corner. They got the movie with the 10 rings playing at the Logan.
Oh, yeah, the 10 Rings movie. Yeah, I hear that's good.
Yeah.
What other news we got?
That's the movie I would.
Yes, I know. That is the movie I would. Star Trek Day was last week. We got 4 new shows coming. Yeah. Strange New Worlds coming in 2022 sometime. We don't know. Which is the one I want the most, is the Captain Pike show. Give me the Captain Pike show. Season 2 of Picard deals with time travel to present day. So I'm like, okay, that's only been done like 4, 5, 6, 10 times previous in Star Trek lore. So it's like a Star Trek
hope at this point. They already announced the season 3 for that too.
Yeah, they've greenlit season 3 of Picard, and season 2 is just about to drop. Season 4 of Discovery is also coming early next year, or late this year. And we've also got an animated series called Star Trek Prodigy. And all I know...
That looks interesting.
Yeah, the animation looks interesting.
That's the first thing I've seen that looks interesting.
It'll be on Nickelodeon, so it's a wild departure from...
at some point you should do something for little kids so that maybe you can get
to pass
the next
torch,
generation.
Right.
Because I got news for you, you're losing Star Wars. You've been losing to Star Wars for a while.
Well, Mando's kind of changed that. Mando resurrected the Star Wars franchise.
But all the animation that they've been doing for the last 20 years too, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there hasn't been any Star Trek animation up until recently.
Nope. I'm still loving Lower Decks. So.
Again, that's not even for kids, though.
No, it's not. It's for the. It's not, I'm constantly reminded as I watch this show that I'm not the target audience for this show, but I'm still enjoying it because of the Easter eggs and the throwbacks to the old series. Even they even talk about the Star Trek limited edition Star Trek collector plates. I owned a couple of them. They were gifts. Okay. Don't judge.
I did too.
Don't judge. Too. They were gifts.
No judgment
but
here.
Lower Decks, I'm still loving Lower Decks, but season 2 of Picard and season 4 of Discovery, but Prodigy looks interesting, but I can't wait for the Captain Pike show.
Well, apparently you're going to have to.
I'm going to have to wait, though. What else? We talked about Star Wars. Star Wars is finally getting a balloon for the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Are they really? I didn't know that.
That's cool.
The good news is it's Baby Yoda.
Is it really?
The bad news is it's the Funko Pop version of Baby Yoda.
Oh, boy.
It's like, okay.
What? Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah, the Star Wars fans are pissed. Of course, they're pissed about everything.
Yeah.
They're always pissed about everything.
Yeah, but, rightfully so for the most of it.
I thought maybe we'd have gotten like an R2-D2 or maybe even BB-8. Because how hard is it to make a BB-8 balloon? It's a semicircle with a circle on top.
Can I tell you something? I don't know where we're going to see BB-8 again. I don't know if we're going to see BB-8 ever again.
No. I mean, they tried that with that other droid, that Dio, I think was its name.
Mean.
But yeah, the BB-8,
there's just
the prequels, the sequel series has been soured a lot of milk for a lot of people.
And so sour.
Yeah.
Flatted fifth.
I think a lot of that, pretty much anything that would have come out of that they could spin off from, they're not going to. And that's too bad, because BB-8 at least was one of the few things that, all right, you could have done something with, but I don't think that's happening. Because I don't think we'll ever see anything
from the sequel series again.
From those characters, or at least for a long time.
Right.
For a very long time. I think that they're going to move away from all that. I mean, we've heard rumors too where they're
there's
talking
rumors
about,
that they might even say ignore it or retcon it or make it like a multiverse.
Reboot it or something like that, or some crazy crap like that. Like they talked about an animated thing that they would reboot they would reboot 7, 8, 9.
The whole franchise? Wow.
Yeah.
Because of how divisive the sequel series became, especially with Fallout from The Last Jedi.
Yeah, well.
And they didn't fix all the problems with Rise of Skywalker, so.
No, if anything, some of them were, and then it made new problems.
Like, it exacerbated some issues, some aspects of it.
Let's ride our horses on the outside of a spaceship with no air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
let's see how far we can take this.
So like a year ago, 2 years ago, we're talking about the DC universe is in the tank. Now the Star Wars thing is in. Although Star Wars has got their shit together in a lot of ways too.
Right,
I mean,
they have their shit together.
They've got the Ahsoka series coming, and of course, Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett is rumored to be in the Boba Fett series. On what I heard.
Really?
Yeah, I heard that on WeGotDiscovered.com. That the Book of Boba Fett is rumored to.
Well, then again, it's WeGotDiscovered.com. That they might be lying.
Yes.
They might not be right.
In DC move,
you could find like comic cosmic news or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
That's the other bad one that like we like always like make fun of.
In DC news, we got a trailer for the animated Injustice film, and that looks interesting.
Okay.
I'd be about that. I still haven't watched The Long Halloween. Part 2 is out, so I wanted to watch Batman: The Long Halloween. Because I always dug the DC animated films.
They do a horrible job of promoting those now.
No, DC don't do shit for those. Some of them are really great.
That's really ridiculous, especially because you're going to put that stuff on HBO Max. You'd think that they would, in the end, do a better job with some of this stuff. It's just like, I don't know. I don't get it.
Maybe it's just hastily just put together content just for the sake.
No,
of
it's not hastily put together. The DC animated films are good.
Right,
just
that's the funny part.
Warner Brothers doesn't promote it.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I don't get it. It's very strange. It's they make this great content, and yet the irony
they don't promote it.
They don't promote it very well.
Because they're just cartoons. I mean, like, Disney Plus and Marvel can do What If? It's an animated series and it's all mainstream.
Well,
oh,
right,
yeah.
and that's the part.
Right,
that's the
and
part
DC's been
get.
like, we've been doing this shit for years and no one's paying attention.
Well, no, we paid attention. The problem is that they really just have not. I mean, they for some sort of reason they stopped leveraging the animated films for some strange reason. For a while, they were promoting them rather well, and then all of a sudden it was kind of like, stop promoting them. And it doesn't make any sense, especially when you've got HBO Max and they're constantly looking for new content. Why wouldn't you? I don't know.
Why would you not want to promote that content? Well, okay, I mean, money couldn't possibly be that type of an issue for that.
Well, no, and the weird part is they've spent the money. That's not the problem. I mean, they certainly have spent the money. They certainly
just not
have done
putting
the
it
stuff.
into promotioning.
But the part I laugh about is you're 100% right, Mike, which is they could have taken, like, the Long Halloween Part 1 and Part 2, and they could have been promoting that, like, with Facebook ads and Instagram ads, and they could have been doing that and saying you could get this exclusively at HBO Max. And they don't do any of that, and I don't get it. It's a very strange. It's a very strange strategy. Whereas you look at what Disney's doing with Marvel, and it's like, there's constantly ads for What If all over the place. It's like, what are you doing? I don't. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Like last year, the same time last year was DC Fandom, and I got to watch the Superman Man and Tomorrow animated film, which was loosely based on the American Alien book. And
I think they're doing another Fandom too, by the way, somewhere around the line.
Good.
I can't remember where or when.
Wait. And I guess tickets are available for. I guess they're doing a New York Comic Con. Despite the shit what's going on right now.
I guess we can go there. So it's funny because obviously we had Dragon Con this past week.
In Atlanta, yep.
And this week is GenCon in Indianapolis. Now, this is going to be the real interesting one.
Yeah, this will be the canary in the coal mine for all our nerd conventions.
Right. Well, and it's interesting to me, and the reason it's interesting is this is really, that I'm aware of, this is the first really big convention that, from a nerd perspective, that I've seen out there. I mean, now, in theory, again, and this is the part where I kind of sit there and I'm glad, I gotta be honest, I'm glad I'm not going. I really am.
Because they're not enforcing.
Well, I don't
they
know.
They can't enforce a crowd that large.
Well, so here's where we're at, which is, first of all, I was told a while back that they were going to cut from 60,000 gamers to 30. I have a feeling that may not be necessarily true.
You think the nerds will storm the gates?
Well, not only that, I mean, like I said, I saw something interesting because I started to see sponsored ads from the Indiana Convention Bureau, and there are people talking about, someone wrote in the comments about, well, we can't get one-day tickets, and then there was a comment of, one-day tickets are very much available here. It's like, wait, what are you? Okay. So I have that's my concern with all this. My concern with all this is the GenCon people very much are putting procedures in place.
4-day badges and single-day badges are still available.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Choose
from more than 2,000 events.
Yeah.
So Looks like it's still going to be big.
Yeah, maybe they're going to go back to 60,000. I know this. They made a big announcement like about a month ago that everybody has to wear a mask. And again, the part that I find interesting about this is this, which is, okay, maybe in the convention center you can do that, but GenCon has spread beyond the convention center.
Yeah, so many different rooms, yeah.
Right. We're talking about hotels. We're talking about, it's at Lucas Oil, all those places. Now, maybe at Lucas Oil, it's it might be enforceable, but like at hotels and stuff, that's gonna
be a little rougher to trace.
Well, and the other part to me is this, and this is the part I don't know, and I don't have a good answer, and I'm going to say this now, which is, I don't know where Indiana's laws are right now about masks.
Yeah, because I know, obviously Illinois has that indoor mask mandate. Right. I don't think Wisconsin does. I don't think Indianapolis does right now. Indiana.
No, Indiana does. Indiana does not.
Oh.
Indiana does not have a mandate.
But you won't need to show proof of vaccination to go into GenCon, though, right?
Right. I don't believe so. But the interesting part to me is, again, so the convention is saying, and this is the part where I'm curious, and this is going to be interesting to see how this goes. The convention is saying you have to wear a mask, but the state and local and all those aspects, they're not mandating masks. So I'm curious to see how this is going to work, because they're using state they're either using private facilities or state facilities, and I'm curious to see how this is going to play, because, okay, someone decides to not wear a mask, what are you planning on doing about it? I mean,
yeah, we'll see.
Because okay, what are you doing? It's called security. What if security's reaction is, hey, according to our state laws, they can get away. They can do. That's the part that.
There's the fly in the soup.
Well, and the other thing is the other thing it'll come down to is, in fairness, if you're sitting down to play a game and somebody decides they're not going to wear a mask, if the GM is like, no, then you need to leave, then it'll work out just fine. If, the question is, what happens in the meantime? Does the person get belligerent? Is there going to be, like I said, hopefully things stay calm. But, and I have this strange feeling that we're not going to see, that there could be interesting stuff, and but we may not see the video, if you understand what I mean. Because I have a feeling gamers are going to try to protect the fact that they want to keep live in-person gaming, and this not to turn into that. So I'm going to be curious to see if we see anything go viral about this, about anything like this, about like gamer fights or stuff like that, or anything like that. Because there will be some people who are going to be like,
I'm sure there's going to be some hostilities. Yeah. There's going to be some people that are going to have hostile temperament towards that,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's funny. John Suntress and I were talking about, obviously we saw the fight, but he's supposed to go to Baltimore for the Baltimore convention, and he's not sure he wants to go.
Yeah, I know people, because we've got one of our, obviously TFCon was supposed to be in Chicago in 2020, and that didn't happen. And this year it's in Baltimore at the end of October. And I've spoken to fans and some people saying, no, I was going to go, but now with the Delta, I think I'm going.
Yeah, and like I said, you mentioned New York, and in fairness...
Yeah, New York Comic-Con is next month.
And it's funny, C2E2 is supposed to be in December. C2E2 is supposed to be here in December, and I think the other show, the Wizard Rule show, is coming up too, because everybody wants to try to get this in and get it done.
See that, of course, the Stern Pinball Expo is coming up in October.
That didn't get canceled?
No, they're doing it this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's like, screw it, we're gonna go.
Yeah, because, well, they made all these plans when, before the Delta variant got kind of prevalent, like back in, June and July, things were doing kind of okay for a little bit. Now with this other, with the shit coming back, so it's like, okay, now we're like, oh.
Yeah.
Now we're back
it'll
to
be
this.
interesting. This will be an interesting week because with GenCon, there may be some interesting gaming news that comes out. In fairness, I'm not as connected as I once was in the gaming news. I think the most interesting thing I read was the people who created the Dragonlance world and the Ravenloft world for old school D&D are creating a new playing campaign world for 5th edition. Called, I think it's called Skyriders or something like that. It looks interesting. I'm intrigued. I like the idea that they're finally creating campaign worlds for 5th Ed. It's about time that they did something like that. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know why they haven't been doing that, but normally, what Hasbro's been doing is just creating a couple of books and then letting other people create all that.
Yeah,
kind
a lot
stuff.
of people homebrew their own stuff.
Well, not only that, they'll license it. They'll
Right.
license it where they'll have other people create those materials for them, but nothing official.
You mean
from
like writing
Hasbro.
modules or what?
Well, like modules
Mhm.
or like other companion books or other companions, or like, for example, like campaign worlds and stuff like that, where then because they have the licensing, they'll sell it,
Okay.
and they'll sell things like that at GenCon, or they'll sell stuff like that online. So that's definitely a possibility. But like I said, it sounded interesting, and again, obviously a great two people who wrote some interesting playing worlds within the D&D realm to begin with. So them creating something new and different, and it has kind of a, it's interesting. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of air kind of like blimps or stuff like that. Like kind of almost steampunky a little bit. It sounds interesting. It means that it won't be straight up like, okay, here's a troll. I don't know. But it won't be as Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings, so to speak. And I'll be honest, sometimes that setting to me, I get bored. I can't speak for everybody else.
Too much walking.
So it leaves room. It does leave room for you being able to create your own.
Yeah.
Within it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, you can always create your own stuff anyway. But like for example, I always laugh because sometimes you sit there and you're like, hey, here's 100 orcs. Great. Wish I had a machine gun.
Well, I do have a flintlock because, they let that steampunk stuff in,
Yeah, well, again, like I said, it's one of those where you're sitting there going, if only I had like an autocannon, it's kind of fun, like to have like an autocannon against like a whole bunch of orcs and be like, all right, let's go.
All right, so we got any other news this week?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that.
Oh yeah, Aquaman's suit got premiered, got leaked.
So dark.
God.
So dark.
So dark.
Yep, that's the Aquaman suit.
And
Yep.
it's so funny because right away certain people are like, "What's the problem with it?" Like, I'm just saying it looks dark.
It looks
so dark.
The last one was green and orange
No,
and gold, and this one's just black.
Or him wearing a suit at all was like him not with his shirt off and
Yeah.
Mr. Nippley Tattooey guy, and all the girls were going nuts because he wasn't wearing any of that stuff. And now it's like, okay, we're gonna put him in.
Tattooey guy.
Nippley Tattooey guy. Yeah, that's the world's greatest superhero under the sea.
Yeah, Nippley Tattooey guy.
Well, he is Nippley Tattooey guy when you're. I don't know. Whatever.
I know that could run on its own. That could run on its own comic device. You know that Nippley Tattooey guy.
Hey, well, let me tell you, there were a lot of women who wanted to see Nippley Tattooey.
Yeah,
That's
Jason
all they were
Momoa.
really interested in. There are a lot of people who were like, I'm not here for the movie. I'm here to watch half-naked.
I just want to see the Nippley Tattooey guy.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm looking at it now. It's like, okay. I mean, yeah, it does some accentuations of his abs and stuff, but I mean, if you know, he's got a high female audience appeal, and it's like,
that's a shirt waiting to happily, you know, the Nippley Tattooey guy.
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll
I'm trying to think if there's any. I'm trying to see if there's anything else of note. I don't think there's any. I mean, unless I'm missing something, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, the MTV movie, not the MTV, the VMAs.
The VMAs were last night.
The 40th anniversary, and of course, nobody freaking remembers anything about the VMAs anymore. So. Oh, and the Bears still suck.
Yeah.
The Bears very, very much still suck. I mean, like really, literally, really, really suck. Like suck.
Come on now, it's only game 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, it's overreaction.
They're non-tackling selves.
I do laugh though, because it's like, alright, so I'll go here, which is the part where I get frustrated is it's like, I was like watching this all off season. I'm watching all this stuff and I'm listening. You know, I'm listening to like all these people and all this shit. And literally, I'm listening to certain people like you know, like all these fans and like Bears media, and I'm like, do you guys not see this, and this? And everybody's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then like, sure enough, like a couple months later, like all of a sudden everybody's like saying the things that I said like months ago, and I'm like, you guys are fucking dumb. You guys are dumb. Well, it's funny. Mike, you're my witness. Did I not say on Friday on my personal page, that if you had the money to bet the farm on the Rams, like literally, like bet everything you have on the Rams, like for Sunday night, I was like, it was funny because like I heard people like, well, you know, the Bears are getting 7.5. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to be a problem. That's not going to be a problem. And I wasn't wrong either. They beat them by 20.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was telling my mom, I'm like, if I had money, like
sports gambling is legal here
I was so confident. It's like I put money down on I put the apartment up. That's how confident I was that the Bears were going to blow it and lose on opening day. Did. And by a lot, and they weren't going to cover the spread. I knew it. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, what are we gonna do?
It's funny because after the first game of the season, everybody is freaking out on depending on who your team is. It's funny they call it Overreaction Monday. Cause like it's only
yeah. So the Bears go ahead and they lose and everything. Now we're fucked for the rest of the season.
Well,
you know,
not fucked yet, but
no, not yet. But
not yet. We're getting there, but yeah.
But yeah,
we're getting there.
Yeah.
They were fucked before the season anyway. I mean,
okay.
as soon as like ownership gave like Ted Phillips and Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy the AOK, I was like, this is gonna be. They won't tell us if they have longer contracts or not or anything. They have long contracts. And in the meantime, everybody's like sitting there going, "Oh, Justin Fields." It's like, you know, here's the thing. That's great that they finally may have gotten a real quarterback in this town. Here's the thing. They're still a shitty franchise. And they still don't have a lot of great players. And they're still not very good at doing. It's like, what are you guys watching? It's like, It's like it was funny. It's funny. I heard somebody who's making more money than I am talking about this today, and they're like literally like, I literally heard them sit there and say, like, well, if they had fields and everything would be different, and it's like, no, it wouldn't. It'd still be shit. It's like wrapping shit up in a bow and going, see, pretty. Much better. So dumb.
Oh, well, we got 15. We'll see what happens next week.
No, we have 16 more of them.
Yay.
Oh my god.
Hey, in fairness, my Colts did not do any much better, but I knew they were going to have a bad day. I knew. I was like sitting there, I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but it was bad. I knew they were going to win.
There's no rain of sunshine you are, aren't you?
Well, hey, look, when your quarterback is starting and he practically didn't have much of an off season, and your left tackle is non-existent, and most of your offensive line didn't get enough practice in the off season because they were out with injuries or COVID protocol things.
Okay.
You know that it may not
go how disjointed it gets.
Well.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's not like you're playing a bad team. You're playing Seattle. You're playing Russell Wilson. He's pretty fucking good. And by the way, equally not good is when the one guy who's the one decent corner you have in your entire secondary, who it's like, well, at least we have that guy to cover somebody, is out for the game. Then, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, it's going to be a long-ass afternoon. It's going to be a long-ass afternoon. We'll see where this goes.
Oh, wow. Man, oh, man. You heard it here, folks.
Well, again, hey, it's. By the way, if you really want to hear people bitch and moan and complain, go find the Ohio State fans this weekend, because Oregon walked into the big house and beat them, and bye national championship hopes. But don't worry, they'll find a way. They're Ohio State, and they'll toady up to somebody. Everybody else would be out of it, but not Ohio State. So, anyway.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, do we got anything else? Are we done for this week?
I think we're done. I don't know. What else we got? Do we have anything? I don't know.
No, I don't have anything else left on my plate, so.
All right. Cool.
So, sir, why don't you tell them where they can find us?
Well, all right. Don't mind if I do.
Please. Thank you.
We're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. YouTube, click the bell. You can listen there if you like. Download the show on your usual podcast hosting platforms, Google, Apple, Spotify, Anchor. Jeff is on Steinamite Productions everywhere.
Dynamite.
And Jive and Ivan's, what's the name of your crazy?
Jive and
Oh, you're talking about the Moonsoul Music Collection.
Yeah, where is that?
That's on Twitch.
Twitch. It's on Java and Ivan on Twitch.tv.
Jive.
That, and of course, a new SoundCloud under the same name, Jive and Ivan, Moonsoul Music Collection. Okay. Whole new series of recordings that are going to be making their way in the next few weeks, so look out for them. Okay, continue. Yeah. Sorry.
Email us.
Well, I was going to say, the only thing I got this week coming up is I am, weather permitting, I am doing a live storytelling event in Lake Forest.
Will you be outdoors?
Friday night. Outdoor. Yeah, an outdoor story. It'll be an outdoor event.
Oh, okay. That's going to be cool.
If the weather holds up, I'll do it. We'll see.
I don't think they're calling for any bad weather.
Right.
This
well,
Friday.
The other thing is how cold. It should be okay. But again, so I'm doing an outdoor event on Friday. I can't remember what the date is, but it's going to be out in Lake Forest, and it's going to start at 7. It's going to be out at the Gorton Center in Lake Forest. So by all means, feel free to all 5 of you who might be living in the area, feel free to check it out. And
Of course, Dynamite here on Clubhouse.
yep.
We had a few people come in and pop in and see what was going on, but nobody wanted to raise their hand, which is fine.
No, that's fine.
Email us at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com and
I
follow us on
remember the day
Facebook.
We had women. I remember the day we had women in here.
Yeah. Hey, ladies.
Yeah, we had like ladies.
Ooh. And it's Ladies' Night tonight.
Oh.
Rhythm and Blues Review. And that'll do episode 164 of Squares Roundtable Podcast. Thanks for listening in and popping in, saying hello on the Clubhouse, and joining us here on this podcast audio format that we prefer because we have, well, I'm
It's
ugly.
it's so groovy to have you all here with us, and we really enjoy the time we spend with you. And of course, I could say that hope we get to 200. Yay! Maybe 300. Yay!
Yay.
Okay.
Any last words from you there, Jeff? Huh?
Yay.
That's the last word.
Yay is good. That's the last word.